Hello again. This is part 5 of the Functional Neurological Disorder Chronic Fatigue Syndrome series. Part 5 is ways that we can help ourselves in the early stages, whether it be because you've recently started having the symptoms or you've recently been diagnosed, but we're talking about before it's progressed and you've been living with it for a while. The first things you need to really think about putting into place. The first thing is, if you feel yourself getting these weird and wonderful symptoms and you haven't already reported them, at the very instance you feel like you're getting ill, confide in somebody, because you will think you are going mad. There's such weird and wonderful symptoms, and as I said before, you need to be really explicit when you're telling people about your issues. That's in all sorts of regards. I haven't been explicit enough with people in the past, and they've said, we wanted to help you, but we just didn't realise. Keeping a symptom diary, I mentioned that in the last episode, but that's an absolute must from the very start. It'll be able to give you much more clarity to your doctor, and I also find it useful once you're under a neurologist. I just find it much easier to kind of just refer to my symptom diaries, to update a report for him, so that they're broken up in sort of 6 months or a year at a time. It makes it more manageable. But yeah, and also don't try and overcomplicate it. I've been through spells where I've had a lot of symptoms going on, and I've been trying to log it so thoroughly, and it's just, sometimes it's hard. Screens are hard, admin's hard, and go for simple. Just take basic notes if you can. Take audio notes if that works for you, and find a way to just collate it together at some point. Maybe some nice person would even type it up for you. But yeah, like everything, keep it as simple as you possibly can. Ask your GP for help. That's a very obvious one. You will have already done that if you've got a diagnosis, of course, but if you just seem to be showing signs of getting these illnesses, then do ask your GP for help. You can't push through symptoms like this. You're not going to be able to. You do need help. Your GP is going to be able to put you in touch with loads of other agencies that can help you. You can find out how to get referred to social services, because you usually refer yourself through, well, in my area it's something called the Health and Social Care Point. It's not very user friendly. It involves lots of waits on phones, like these things tend to. But you'll be able to get details of that from your doctor, and they will also be able to, social services are vital for you, because they'll be able to organise for physios to come into your home to assess your needs, because obviously you might have issues with your bathroom, or if you haven't got a downstairs toilet, for instance. These things could be causing you problems. If you're a wheelchair user or you're requiring a wheelchair, you can be referred to wheelchair services, and they can provide you with wheelchairs. They'll measure you up and assess your needs, and provide you with a decent pressure relieving cushion to put on your seat. And also you could ask the doctor about referring you to tissue viability if you're somebody who's bedbound a lot. I've got 2 hospital standard mattresses, because I'm considered high risk of pressure sores. Make sure you move about, obviously, on your mattress, but yeah, you can find out from your GP about how to get referred to those things. Some services might not accept you until it's been confirmed that it's long-term problems that you're suffering from, but that's probably going to depend on your area. Consider home help. This is a really, really hard one to get your head round. It was for me anyway. I suppose in a strange way, I was kind of fortunate in the sense that I was so severely disabled that you could argue that it was kind of taken out of my hands. Even though until, I mean, social services fund the vast majority of my care package now, which I'm eternally grateful for. But I funded it myself for a long while, as much as I could. You know, and that was very costly because I was so severely ill. It ended up having to go to 6 days a week, and I couldn't have afforded that much longer, of course. But social services can help you with costs towards care. There's options they'll offer you, like personal assistance as well. I chose to go through an agency. Unfortunately, my social worker supported me on that because the system at the time was that the social worker would discharge you as soon as your help was in place, and I was too nervous about meeting new carers, because by that point I'd met loads. Christ knows how many I've met now. But it was also the fact that because I don't get many hours, it would be difficult to guarantee somebody to take me appointments and things, which at the time I had millions of. At the start you probably will. Here we go again. Yeah, home help. Sorry about that. Another zone out. I just worked on the principle. I know friends who've had long-standing feelings that I held for a while too. You know, as long as I've got the energy to be making myself a meal or washing up or something like that, you know, hoovering, I'm gonna do it. Just to feel that sense of achievement. But I found that I wasn't. I just wasn't, because that was all I was doing. I was sleeping. I was managing to, well, not hoover. I wasn't managing that, but you know, just about eat and just about clean. And no, no, that was, you know, and you know, finding it so hard to be clean all the time, you know, without that help is, you know, no. Consider it, at least consider it. It's a really difficult decision, but I'm sure for most people it would improve their quality of life if they can possibly get help. Sorry, I keep scrolling down and losing my place in here. Speak to your local pharmacy. There are often waiting lists with pharmacies, but they can offer things like blister packs, which mean that it means that the pharmacy is they already dispense your tablets into packs marked with times of the day and days of the week. The downside that I've had with this is because of the nature of the illnesses, your medication may fluctuate more than they might with other things, and I've been in a position where I had a blister pack and then I was receiving, you know, additional tablets that I needed to add to it because my dose had changed, and tablets that I needed to take out. And a lot of home help companies aren't actually meant to help you with your medication. So that was a real problem for me. I actually use these boxes that you pop your meds into. I still forget to take them probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a week. But yeah, that's going to happen sometimes. you can get a lot of phone appointments and home visits. Your GP is often going to be willing to offer home visits, especially while there's phone appointments, especially while coronavirus is going on. Although you might be lucky to get one. Phlebotomy also do home visits. They take your blood for the blood test, so you could talk to your doctor about seeing if this can be put into place for you. I also have, I mentioned before, white noise generators, like little hearing aids that help with my tinnitus and noise sensitivity a bit, and audiology. It's very rare I have any problems with them, but if I do, or they need fine tuning or something, the audiologist comes out to my house. And you know, it's wonderful to get out of the house, but not if you're only going to doctor's appointments, let's face it. And when I was, you know, when I had more appointments, I couldn't possibly have managed it. And with the amount I go out now, I'd rather use my appointment time for, you know, going out somewhere nice or going for a walk or something. Safer gadgets. I'd say that's a pretty urgent one if you've developed some of the tremors that I have, that you'd have seen in the earlier videos. I've tried all sorts of things. I tried, what have I tried? I mean, hot water's the important one. Everyone likes a hot drink, or most people do. I found that kettles are no good for me because A, I'm not strong enough, B, my concentration is rubbish, and C, it's probably C, it was a C. Yeah, oh yeah, my hand's shaking, that was the C. That's quite a big one. I've tried using kettle tippers as well, but I actually find them quite clunky and quite uncomfortable and quite painful actually on my wrist joints and stuff. So I personally didn't like those. I did try using a travel kettle for a while. They take ages to boil, so they're probably not very economical. And also, I developed a bad habit of holding the cup in my hand and pouring the water like that, which obviously is just, you can't see me doing it like that. Yeah, obviously that was a stupid thing to be doing. So now I've got hot water dispensers in different rooms. And yeah, I find them by far the easiest things, just these things that boil one kettle at a time, one cup at a time, and they're dead economical. And I just keep spare bottles of water to refill them near my different, well, beds really. Bed stroke sofas stroke lounging areas. Yeah, simplify your life. I did say that earlier on, but yeah, anything you can do to make life simpler, do it, because, well, you'll have already gathered life's a bit tougher once you develop. It can be a lot tougher once you develop something like this. So any ways from the outset that you can find to make it easier on yourself, do it. Right, that's it for this one, and the next episode I'll be doing on ways that we can help ourselves with work and benefits. So hope you found this helpful again.